2-hour dates, first date, max.
Yeah, yeah.
Go home, process. Then we have a feedback call the day after the
Do you ever
date.
have people call you and be like, we vibe so hard, we just left and went home. I'm sorry, fuck the rules.
I mean, pretty much. Sometimes, you know, I mean, yes, sometimes people, I always say you're not in like DateShape jail, right? Like you're not in timeout, but it works. It works.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. If you vibe, don't hit you. People who ride with you, get it live. You can paint that picture. Let's get ready
to rumble. And we're back, just like that. Okay, Royal Rumble. Do we know what episode we're on? 10? 10! We brought in a true champion for episode 10.
That's
Jennifer,
right.
champion. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Guys, we have a very special guest today, and I'm very excited.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So Jennifer and I met recently because I host a networking event that I've done with a close friend of mine, Rami. So Rami and I host a networking event held in Dallas, Texas, and the premise of the event is called Networking with Nick and Rami. And what we like to do is just bring together people that we know that we've either done business with or that are business owners, entrepreneurs, even wantrepreneurs, even people that have a drive and ambition to, you know, be entrepreneurial, and bring them together literally in the room and have an opportunity to build relationships. And the last Networking with Nick and Rami event was, what was the date? It was within the last 2 months.
I think, yeah. If not a month. I mean, 3 to 4 weeks maybe.
Yeah. And so at the event, we're going over the guest list, and Rami said, hey, actually, I've got a good one for us. And I said, what? And he goes, I have a professional matchmaker coming in from Houston. I said, get the fuck out of here. And he goes, no, I swear to God. And I go, this is great. I mean, we have attorneys, we have lawyers, we have doctors, we have real estate investors, we have finance people, you know, bankers, contractors, you know, women that are estheticians. So when I heard professional matchmaker, I'm thinking, who doesn't want to talk to a professional matchmaker, right? And I cannot wait to get into who you are and what you do. So without further ado, Jennifer Champion. And ladies and gentlemen, that really is her name, which is fucking awesome. Jennifer Champion, thank you for coming. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your upbringing.
Okay. Well, thank you for having me. First of all, this is very exciting, and it's awesome to be in Dallas. So my upbringing, like start from the beginning. I
would love to know, as vulnerable as you want to get, just where you're from, anything that stood out as a child, and segue that into how did that get into your drive, passion, ambition to do what you do now?
Okay.
And if your upbringing had any role, you think, or had any impact, positive or negative, on relationships, and just kind of how that led to you doing what you do.
Nice. Thank you. So I'm from New Jersey, which we talked about. You're Ohio, right?
Yeah.
I remember the conversation. Yeah. My dad was from Ohio. And I'll just segue into my dad. My dad always taught me, do what you love.
Yeah.
Do what you love. And the money will come. It's a book actually, and it was on our coffee table in our home. It's on my coffee table in DateShape. And he always instilled to have that passion for what you do. And, you know, it just makes life so much better.
What did he do?
So he was restaurants and nightclubs. And so I grew up in the restaurant and nightclub business in New Jersey and Philadelphia, Jersey Shore.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. And he worked his ass off. He loved what he did, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, he always said, do what you love, do what you love. And I grew up as an athlete. My focus was athletics, first swimming, and then field hockey, lacrosse.
Nice.
Yes. So, you know, my passion was always fitness.
Yeah.
I still have the dream when you wake up, did I graduate college?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I cared about sports, you know, that was number one for me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you know, having that commitment to fitness, to sports, that drive, that focus.
Yeah.
And then my dad always saying, do what you love, do what you love. And that's where I am now. And I'm so thankful.
That's cool. That's awesome. So you're in Houston currently.
Yes.
What brought you to Houston?
So we moved from my dad's business. He partnered up with a gentleman that lives in Houston, Lance McFadden, anyway, owned Cowboys, Confetti, Elan. So my dad had done business with him in Philadelphia. He bought Elan from him. So when we moved here, I had just graduated college. I went to Maryland, and I was living
Like
in
University of Maryland, like Terps?
I'm a Terrapin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just run the Big Ten, which is
Really?
Yeah, kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because of being a big Ohio State fan, Maryland joined a couple years ago, and I was like, oh shit, they're always really good at basketball.
So they kicked ass in field hockey lacrosse, which is what I played.
At Maryland?
Well, I went there to play.
Got it.
And I was like, oh shit. You
Yeah.
know, like they were amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And of course, in hindsight, you look back like, why didn't you stick it out? You know what I mean? I was a red shirt my first year, and then I didn't continue, unfortunately. But anyway, so where were we?
So you got to Houston.
Left.
Because, yeah, your dad partnered with a gentleman with this company there. You moved there.
Yeah.
And where did you start your... First off, let's talk about what you specialize in. What is your
Sure.
specialty?
Okay, so I work with singles who are dating to meet a long-term relationship. It doesn't mean marriage. Not every single wants to get married, right? But I only work with singles who want a committed long-term relationship,
Got it.
marriage or life partner,
So I would say that like dating with intent,
for sure.
right? And
it's-
so
yeah,
there's everything in life is subjective, right? If someone's tall, short, skinny, fat, rich, poor, like whatever. So when you say long-term, how do you categorize to your clients long-term? Because if you're a guy that just does one night stands all the time, shit, long-term is a month.
right.
And so if you match him up with a nice lady and he kicks her to the curb in a month, you go, hey, dude, what are you're making me look bad. And he go, what? That's the longest one I've had in the last couple of years. So
He's thinking he did
how
good.
do you define to your clients long-term?
Life.
Really?
Life partner.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Got
They either want marriage or they do want that committed life
Got
partner.
it. Okay.
And what I've realized in the past couple of years is that life partner can be really unique in terms of like what works for two people. Maybe living in separate homes,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, if you're an introvert and you want that time alone,
Yeah.
you know, making it work in a relationship, right? And
Yeah.
all those dynamics and all those beautiful nuances that allow two people to have a committed relationship for life.
Yeah.
Do you want kids? Do you not want kids?
Yeah.
I mean, it's endless.
Yeah. That's
It's
cool.
endless.
So I own a roofing company, and before I did roofing, I used to consult health clubs. And so my personal niche was running up the personal training department in in the gym. And so there's an exact process that I don't want to say we perfected, but we got really good at. And so I would personally meet with someone in the gym, like after they either just got their membership, or I would just get people off the floor working out and say, hey, I want to give you the experience to see what it's like to work with a personal trainer. But before we even do anything, I can't help you unless you help me. So I need to exactly extract as much information as I can so I know and I can find the best path for you. And so there, I ask these questions. I mean, fitness is a very emotional thing from the perspective of, I'm generalizing, okay? But if I talk to Mr. or Mrs. Jones that their objective is to lose 50 pounds, it's like, well, how long have you been thinking about losing 50 pounds? We'll pull it for the past 8 years. Okay, so why today?
Right.
I just want to. Why today? I really think I need to. Why today? Okay. I'm going to my class reunion in 3 months. I don't want to be a laughing stock of the room, and I really want to lose 25 pounds. Okay, that's a fucking reason.
Right.
That's emotional.
Right.
Because you've driven by the gym 75 times in the last 8 months or last 5 years you've been thinking about. So why today, right?
Right.
And so I go through this laundry list of questions where I don't want it to feel like a doctor office experience where you check in, fill out the clipboard, and come back. I hate that, right? personal. What's so personal about personal training if it's not personal?
Right.
So I would just extract very, very important questions that allowed me to really figure out what I needed to do in an efficient amount of time and clear out a path for them. Okay.
Right.
So in what you do, I say that, and like, there's got to be a parallel, right? Because everyone is so different of what they're looking for and why they're looking for it, right? And so love is amazing because love, it brings you the most joy and also brings you the most heartache. Tony Robbins, I listen to him say that.
Love him.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because Tony Robbins is like, you fall in love and like you're doing cartwheels around the house like, I'm in love. This is amazing. I don't care if we're poor. I don't care if the bills aren't paid because I'm in love. And then you get older in life and it's like everything is like, wrong. So it's like, when you're in a bad relationship, it's like nothing could go right. So how have you been able to not perfect, but like, how have you been able to figure out your process and how it works for your clients? Like what are some go-to questions you have to know so you can do your job in the best way possible? So
I was a personal trainer.
Nice.
Yeah. And my company's DateShape. So, I get where you're coming from. Today's dating is so different from when I started.
Oh, I can't wait for you to tell me how, because I can only imagine.
I mean, it's night and day.
Yeah.
And I've been in it over 20 years.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So
you've been doing what you're doing for 20 years.
I worked for It's Just Lunch.
That's awesome.
And I started with them as a matchmaker over 20 years ago.
Were they from Louisville?
It's Just Lunch?
Yeah.
It's nationwide. They're franchised.
Okay. I lived in
There's
Louisville.
one
I could have
here
sworn
in Dallas.
They said these two girls started this thing called It's Just Lunch.
So it started over, 25 years ago.
Okay.
I worked for the It's Just Lunch in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
The owner of the Houston franchise also owned Austin and Chicago. And I believe there may have been one more, but I knew the owner of the Dallas location because we shared singles.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm a Texas matchmaker. You can share singles in all these cities.
What do you mean by that?
So I have clients in Houston that will date if it's a fit.
Oh,
in
okay,
Texas.
got it. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
in Houston, you link up with another person does what you do in the Dallas market and you go, I got a guy, I got a girl. Great, let's meet him.
There was a date that came from your event.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah?
He came up from Houston.
How'd it go?
Great.
Are you allowed to share results?
I can't say names. And
No.
Yeah.
That's too personal.
No,
but
it went great. I mean, there was a second date.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
So you've been doing what you're doing for a long time.
Long time.
Let's talk about the success. Let's talk about how many couples have you matched?
Oh my gosh. First of all, I probably interviewed close to, I don't know, maybe 2,000 to 3,000 singles.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was a matchmaker for It's Just Lunch for many years, but then I was their recruiter. I recruited singles for over a decade for them, for the elite client who pays $12,000 at It's Just Lunch for a year.
Got it.
Right. And so I had a very select search, and I found most of my singles in my fitness classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, singles work out, right?
Yeah.
And take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Most, not all.
I mean, it's just kind of like the unfortunate truth.
Right.
I feel like single people care more about what they look like.
Right,
And
because they're
when
trying
you
to
get
attract.
Again, I don't want to piss off listeners out there, so I'm just speaking freely, but I feel like unfortunately people that get to a longer term relationship lose ambition on their fitness. I'll say that. And just so you don't get in trouble, I'll say this shit because I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I got my girl. I'm in love. I have nothing to fucking lose right now.
Nice.
But like,
Nice.
generally speaking, I feel like people that are in complacent relationships lose their desire to work out. I think that's fair to say.
For sure.
You're saying you have a lot of success matching singles with people that are active.
So the number one must have of my male clients is fit.
Got it. And how do you define fit?
Exactly. And, I had a conversation with a client coming up today because, I was getting my verbiage down and getting into it.
Yeah.
And, he gave me a good point. He said, I'm fit, so I want fit. And let's face it, if you are divorced you know, you probably weren't in a very sexually active relationship towards the end of that marriage, right? Leading to divorce, right? So the number one must-have of men is fit. Men are visual creatures. But my clients are fit. So that's why they want fit, right?
Do you ever have people though that say they're fit and you look at them and you're like, oh, buddy, dude, you got a spare tire. What are you doing?
You know, I mean, yes, but my clients, the ones that hire me, I will say do work out, take care of themselves, you know, value a healthy lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
And there's degrees on that, of
Sure.
course. But I mean, everyone I work with, the number one is fit. Even the women too. I don't want to just make it sound like it's men.
Yeah.
But men are visual creatures.
Yeah.
Your love language is touch. I've never met a man that isn't touch. I had one the other day and he was like, time, service. And I'm like, oh my God, I had my first one. And he's like, then touch.
Wait a minute. Most guys' love language, affection is in the top.
Their love language is touch.
Okay, so here's my thing. Do you feel that there's a difference between affection and intimacy? No. What am I trying to say? Is there a difference between being intimate with someone and having sex?
So, I mean, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, intimacy and having sex.
I link intimacy with emotion.
Sure.
So
an emotional
I would
connection.
rather cuddle on the couch with my girlfriend every night for 3 hours than, like, if I had to pick and choose between cuddling on the couch for 3 hours every night or sex every night, I would go
with cuddle.
Yeah, well, not. What am I trying to?
I'm like, really?
No, what am I trying to say? I'm having a hard time
Well,
articulating.
your
it.
touch. I mean, cuddling's touch.
I think cuddling is intimacy,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like sex is sex.
Cuddling.
You could have non-emotional sex with someone.
Absolutely.
So-
and intellectual, it
Yeah.
can be stimulating. I mean, there's so many. Yeah. I mean, we could go way
I'm
down
having a hard
that.
time explaining what I'm.
Your love language is touch, but it
yeah,
doesn't
but I'm
mean
trying to
sex.
find. I sound like a big fucking idiot right now, though.
No, I get it. Not at all. I mean, you
trying
want
to
to
propose
cuddle. You like lying on the couch.
But are most guys like that?
Yeah. Men are touch.
Got it.
And I don't mean sex. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, it's sex too.
Yeah.
But men want the touch of a woman.
What about women? What are their
Time.
generalizing? Really?
Time and words.
Because they feel
Mostly,
valued. Time they
again-
feel valued. Words of affirmation. They just.
Correct.
Yeah.
And again, I always want to make sure everyone knows I'm not saying all, right?
No. We're generalizing.
Yeah. Most men, all men are touch, seriously. But I'm sure there's guys out there that aren't, but the men I've worked with,
Yeah.
it's always, the number one is touch. And most women are, well, I love it when women say to me, all. They're all of them, right? But most are time and words of affirmation
Got it.
and gifts.
Do you find that if you have women that come to you and gifts are in the top, do you find that, I'm putting you in a tough position if I ask you your personal feelings. Because I was going to ask you, do you find that personally as a red flag if a woman comes to you and goes, gift giving is my number one?
Nothing, it's all good.
Okay.
Like
Because
everybody's
there's no right or wrong.
No.
You are trying to get to know someone so you could best service them and find their match.
absolutely.
So if someone says whatever it is, there's no wrong.
More authentic and real and honest and open they are with me, the better direction I have.
My concern is with a girl that would say gift giving is number one. To me, and this is where you correct me because I'm wrong 95% of the time I speak. But like, if a girl came to me and said gift giving is my number one, I would say, well, then I could always be bought out. It's like I look at it like you're an open auction.
Well,
Because if I get you something, it just takes a guy to get you a nicer something. If I take you somewhere, it just takes a guy to take you to a nicer somewhere. So tell me if
well,
I'm
what
wrong.
about flowers? Some girls, a gift to them is you stopped and picked up flowers.
Yeah.
Thoughtful gifts. You know what I mean? Like, I
Got
saw
it.
this today. I thought of you.
See, I think flowers is like an act of kindness. I don't even consider that a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift. I mean, there's 5 of them, right? So there's words of affirmation,
Yep.
acts of service, quality time, touch, and gifts.
Got it. Do you strongly advise your clients to read that book before you even talk to them?
So they don't kick in until it could be second date.
Wait, what doesn't kick in?
The love languages. They won't speak to you. Like if
But you have to,
I want
before you enroll with a client, before a client enrolls with you, will you say, you need to read this book because you need to have a good understanding of
the love languages.
Yeah.
So I ask them during our interview. So my interview, and we're kind of going back, you were asking me that earlier, but my interview is about an hour. With any single, hiring me or not. I want to know these pieces, these nuances, these must-haves of every single I work with, right? And the love language is a question, and some are like, oh, what are they again? But most know them. And the millennials know them, which is very interesting to me. Some couples or singles, coming out of divorce, they're like, I remember them because they're from, I think, the 70s, right? But the younger singles know them.
Yeah.
And they know them well. They're like, I took the test. And I'm like, there's a test?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know, you know? But if they don't, I tell them, and it's pretty, you know, obvious, right?
Yeah, so.
But they don't kick in into a couple, a connection.
Right.
Probably until third date. If you were to bring a girl, not you, but if a man was to bring a girl flowers on a first date, that'd be weird.
A little aggressive.
A little bit.
Well, hang on. Let's talk about age groups, because I feel like if a guy is like older, subjective, I feel like if a guy is like older than 50 and he has a first date with a girl, I could see how, that's a lady. I could see how the lady would be like, that was a very gentleman thing to do.
I think it's, and risky is a strong word. That's not the right word. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bring a gift until third date.
Yeah.
Because my first date, so I created a method. My singles follow a method.
Let's talk about the method.
Okay, go into it. We're all over. Okay, so first date, men gave me this one because I have a live stream on DateShape.com with 6 men talking about what they want on a first date, what they look for.
Love it.
They all told me, show up real, authentically you, don't bring your representative.
What does that mean?
Like, show up real. Like, don't go like, you know, first date fancy. Come authentic. Show up just real, right? Meaning, so my first dates are coffee, cocktail, or mocktail. Not everyone drinks. Do we vibe? Things in common. Are we compatible?
Yeah.
My singles know they have dating goals in line. They know they have lifestyle and values in line because I, you know, put all that together and present to them.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't agree with fancy first dates. I don't agree.
Like 5-star dinners. Like,
I
just
wouldn't.
chill.
I don't even have them going to dinner. They are in spots that if they hit it off, they can order food. But nobody's locked into a dinner date on a first date with me.
There's nothing worse than being a dinner date, and
you don't want to be there.
By the time the appetizer comes, you're like, I'm ready to get out of here.
And
you're locked in.
Heightened expectations on that kind of date.
Yeah.
The girl went and bought an outfit. She got her nails done. She got her hair done. You know what I mean? It's too much.
Yeah.
You don't know this person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know better with me than off a dating app. However, I still know.
Yeah.
Do we vibe?
Yeah.
Is there energy? Coffee, cocktail, mocktail.
Yeah.
But it's in, you know, my cocktail dates are in restaurants. I can reserve a high top table in the bar.
Yeah.
And if they do hit it off and vibe, then they can order food.
That's cool.
But nobody's locked in. And quite frankly,
I like that.
2-hour dates, first date, max.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go home, process. Then we have a feedback call the day after the
Do you ever
date.
have people call you and be like, we vibe so hard, we just left and went home. I'm sorry. Fuck the rules.
I mean, pretty much. Sometimes, you know, I mean, yes, sometimes people, I always say you're not in like DateShape jail, right? Like you're not in timeout, but it works. It works. I've watched it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know it.
There's a process for a reason. So like you're just ruining the process. As much as you like her, like him, like trust me,
So
They'll be back.
to your point, I had a first date where they were on a plane the next morning on a trip. I'm like, ugh.
And you cringed?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they fall in love, then you look like the big shot. So
Yes, and I hope, right?
But
Like
it's a little
fingers
risky.
crossed, toes crossed, but the trip too soon is make or break.
Yeah.
And it's usually break.
Yeah.
Don't go too fast.
It's just
Don't go too
that's
fast.
a very emotional, instinctive type thing.
You're not ready for it.
Yeah.
Like you're not ready. You just met. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
if there's energy, yay, like check.
Yeah,
But
just kind of like harness it and just like
harness it.
Yeah.
Good word. And then we have to evaluate the personality. We have to evaluate the character. That's
Yeah.
what the second date is. So
Right.
second date is an activity.
I like that.
do something.
Axe throwing, putt-putt.
Axe throwing's the best.
Yeah, I've done that one time. We went to the exotic animal park that we took Ariana to for her birthday. Went 2 years ago for my daughter's birthday, and the axe throwing. I was like, I've always wanted to do axe throwing. So I did it with my dad. It was so fun.
So I had
We
an
gotta do it,
event,
though.
Ratchet Hatchet. I'm giving the shout out, Ratchet Hatchet in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. So you guys know, you did it. You can't throw when someone's walking up, right? So there's a safety component involved. You know what I mean? Like when you have two people, like you have to wait to go get your axe for the other person to throw.
Yeah.
So I watched gentlemen go get the axes and bring it back. Did he bring it back and give her axe, right? Was he protective of her? Did he show her and like was he patient with like
Yeah, or is he just like annoyed, like, oh my God,
Yeah,
you're
like-
so bad.
right, like cuz I mean athletic, it took me a while,
Yeah.
right? And so are you patient? Women always say I want someone kind. I want someone patient. I want someone that's going to take that lead, that
Yeah.
alpha male, right? Go axe throw.
Yeah.
Go axe throw. You'll learn a lot. And I also say go drive on I-10 in Houston. I don't know if you've ever been to Houston. Get in the car with your man
Traffic is
and
the worst.
traffic, right?
Houston traffic is no joke.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
But anyway, so second date's an activity, axe throwing, putt, walk in the park.
Top golf is so common now in places.
Top golf is on
Yeah.
my list. It's, I mean, go do a
One
workout
of the first
together.
activities we did.
Go do a
I
spin
remember
class.
I remember the Jordans. We're Jordans.
Oh, really? Your which date? Second?
It was like one of the first like activities we did though.
Nice.
Together. Yeah.
It's so telling.
Yeah, it's cool.
so telling.
Yeah.
And that's character, like evaluating the character.
Mm-hmm.
Did they hold the door for you? Did they? And I mean, whatever you're looking for in
Yeah.
that person,
And third date is what?
personal. At this point,
You could do a dinner.
dinner. Go do your fancy dinner, But some people at that point, they personalize it. It can be a taco truck. You have things in common. You now have experiences together.
Yeah.
You're on the same page with like what we like, right?
Yeah.
And so at that point, picnic in Galveston. I mean, it's personal.
Yeah, that's
third
cool.
date. Yeah.
That's cool. So let's talk about the success. Have you linked a lot of married couples together?
Yes.
Yeah?
I have 5 marriages.
Well, not in 25
since-
years.
No, since I opened DateShape. So it's
Yeah.
just lunch. It's been so long, but I recruited singles longer than I was a matchmaker for
Got
It's
it.
Just Lunch.
Mm-hmm.
I started my own grassroots while I was recruiting. But anyway, I saw a window. So back to the entrepreneurial
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
theme. I would interview singles all over Houston in Starbucks and send them into IJL to be connected with the elite client. Which, by the way, I learned so much for IJL, and I only want to speak positive, right? But singles would come back to me dissatisfied or never matched. And I'm like, well, I just met
Yeah.
10 singles. There would be a fit for you, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a window. I started my own grassroots about my son's 13, about 12 years ago.
Nice. Now, I would imagine it's hard from your perspective because if you do you sell like executive level packages like the 12? Okay. So I guess on your end, like you can never guarantee anything. You can't
There's no
guarantee someone.
guarantees.
Right.
There's
So
no guarantees.
what do you do? That's a hard question to ask you. It's like if someone got the executive package and they're paying you $12,000 on an annual basis, do they just get more first dates guaranteed?
So my elite clients.
Because are you like, oh, I get you the prettier ones?
Yeah, so they have a very specific
Got it.
must-have list,
Okay.
right? Which my singles only have 2 or 3 must-haves. And I'll tell you a cool story how that came about. But my elite clients have very specific must-haves. So they're patient. They realize, like, it's a needle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I was here for your event recruiting for one of my elite clients. And another client came up for the date. But so they recognize that they have a very specific search. And they know I'm going to find it for them. And that's the recruiter.
Yeah.
And again, I'm so sorry. Where were we going? What was your question?
If you have someone that's willing to pay a hefty premium, I mean, what is that getting them more than the
they're a
average
year.
Joe package?
Right. Unlimited dates, right?
Got it.
Unlimited for a year.
Got it. And when you say unlimited, like you're talking like they could get one 7 days a week?
Again, their search is so specific, right? And so it's not going to be that plentiful, right? But yeah, and I don't limit. So I have elite, I have client, and then I have members. Okay. So client is a guarantee of 6 in 6 months.
Okay.
Because, and elite too, don't get me wrong. It's just that's such a specific search. But clients, singles that hire a matchmaker want their person yesterday.
Yeah.
By the time they are in my office at DateShape, they want their person yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? So there's 6 months because they're ready.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to have them out on a date right away. My goal is right away because it is such an emotional sale.
Yeah.
Right? And, we work I work very closely with them. It's very personal. I get to know them so well. And we identify their 2 or 3 must-haves. So can I segue for a second?
Yeah.
So I had a client who only wanted non-vaxxed, a male. And he only wanted non-vax. And yeah, a lot of people look at me and I always get interesting reactions. But
I feel like that'd be very common in Texas.
Right. More so here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people don't like the vax. I mean, that's a whole controversial thing, but like it just fucking is.
Right.
Texas and Florida, like that whole thing's bullshit.
Right.
Anyways, go on.
Yeah, no, totally. But what that one must-have taught me was that if you have a solid must-have, you're going to get your long list. So his must-have of non-vax gave him conservative, gave him Christian, gave him health conscious, because most young women that weren't getting it were fearful of fertility.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. And so, and also, fit.
Yeah.
Most of them, because they were health conscious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one must-have gave him about 5 or 6 on his list. And after that client, I was like, you guys get 2 or 3. And we're going to figure out what those 2 or 3 bring you so that you have your long list, but I'm looking for 2 or 3. That's my direction, right? So the more specific they are in their must-haves, it's so much better for me
Yeah.
as a recruiter.
Yeah.
So I'm
it makes your
really a
job little bit easier.
recruiter.
Yeah. This has been on my mind since we talked about the love languages. So men and women clearly have different top priority love languages. So if you were to take the 5 love languages and you just write them down in order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you also write them down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side by side. If men's top 2 are different than women's top 2, how do you crisscross to make sure that what has been more successful on your end of guys that have these top 2, they mesh well with these women that are top 2, because you're saying statistically speaking, men and women don't have the same top 2 priorities.
Right.
So I would think that would be a concern, but that's just not practical, because obviously if most men like these 2, women like these 2, that's not the same.
Right. No, good point. So I mentioned they really don't kick in till a 3rd date.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of out of the picture after a 3rd date.
Got it.
Not always. I mean, don't get me wrong. I help my clients in nurturing that connection, right? Like I want nothing more than them to reach their dating goals with a connection.
Yeah.
It's more of me letting them know what the person's love language is, because I believe they're powerful, and I want them to know going into the relationship, this is what's going to speak to this person, right? So aligning them isn't really necessary. It's more just letting that single know, look, this person, it touches them when you, words of affirmation.
Yeah.
They feel loved when you give them flowers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, even with my kids, like I know my kids' love languages.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to speak to a person, you know, kid, adult, that gives them a feeling of being loved.
Yeah. Got it. Let's talk about reality TV for a minute. So, me personally, I would say I kind of despise reality TV because, like, there's nothing that's more unrealistic than reality TV.
Right.
Scripted. I could go on and on. So, my lover wanted to introduce me to a show. And recently we got into it. We got into the show, not like into an argument. But she's like, hey, let's watch the show. I was like, you know, it's like, oh, this is my good boyfriend gesture.
Yeah. Bonding.
And, yeah. And so, again, cuddling on the couch, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
So we put on this show, Love is Blind.
Okay.
I'm fucking hooked.
Oh, really?
I'm hooked.
It was just in Houston.
Was it really? Oh, yeah.
The
Okay.
show was in Houston.
So my thing is, so that's my story about Love is Blind, is that we just watched the most recent season, and I'm just like, I'm so that guy.
So into
where I'm
it.
just like, oh God, this is so dumb. And then I'm like, let's go. We're going, we'll pull an all-nighter. So
binge.
as far as reality shows specifically geared towards dating, do you cringe when you hear it? Do you cringe when you watch it? Do you think that it is a good exercise? Do you think some of it could, like, how do you feel? It's like me watching like a contractor show. It's like some contractors could be like, I can't wait to see what these guys do. Other times it's like, this is so fake. This is so not how it works on a real job site. So do you watch any of these shows? Are you a fan of any of them?
So I don't watch TV
Okay.
at all.
It's a good way to cut negativity out of your life.
It is.
I mean, stop watching the news,
I'm
right?
blissfully, you know, I don't.
But even as like a spectator, as like a student, you don't want to like see like, hey, what are they doing?
Yeah. So I did pay attention on Instagram, like with the posts, right? But and I watched the Indian Matchmaker. I thought that was
What's that? Just
fabulous.
Indian people?
Netflix.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally just watched Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Wait, what's Indian Matchmaker? Just
So
like
that
Indian
was
people?
on a couple years ago. And she's from India.
Yeah.
And a legit, you know, authentic matchmaker.
Yeah.
And she connected singles in the States.
Oh, okay.
That I believe maybe they were Hindu or Muslim. You know, they shared that cultural connection, right?
Okay.
Which I have Hindu and I have Muslim and I have Arabic clients. And so anyway, she was great. And I related to her a lot.
Yes, you could appreciate that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it was great. She was wonderful. And then there's also the Jewish Matchmaker show that's on Netflix.
We're going to watch these.
Yeah, see, it's gonna open up your world now.
I told her, I go, babe, we're doing this on like a Sunday thing. I can't because I'm hooked.
Yeah.
We still have to finish it, don't we? Like one. Yeah, we have to watch the finale.
The one in Houston.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is hilarious that I just talked about, and I just realized it is all in Houston.
It's Houston.
Yeah.
So the one was, and then I think they have another one coming up somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I haven't got to that part
did
yet.
it finish in Houston? It's done. It's
Yeah.
done. Okay. Yeah.
I look at that. So I'm a new spectator. I'm a new binge watcher.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I mean, it's like fucking car crash. Like you go by the car crash, you don't want to look, but like you can't help but peek, and then you're like, oh my God, look at that.
Got
like,
into it.
I think that watching the show, I mean, I think they do healthy exercises, but again, when you put a time constraint on spending the rest of your life with someone, I think that is such a beyond a red flag that it's like insurmountable. Like that's like a different conversation topic. I appreciate the premise of get to know someone emotionally, intellectually before you even look at them. but I'm a sales guy, so I could literally give you like both sides of every aspect of what they do. I like how they make you emotionally and intellectually connect with someone without looking at them. However, I think being attracted to your lifelong fucking partner is imperative. Okay.
Big
On
time.
one end, I like how they give them, time until you meet them in the next. Do you know the premise of the Love Is Blind?
I know it's.
You sit in a room that's like really, really nicely decorated.
Okay.
And it's like speed dating, but you can't see the person. So you're talking to them and you're one room next to them. So you could hear them. You're close to them, but there's a wall separating. And you talk about, something different every day. Every room is like a different theme. So, you might walk in a room and like there's games and you guys could both play the games together while you're talking about it. But like, it's just an opportunity to just keep like getting to know someone.
Yeah,
and then
great.
just throughout the process, like you just figure out who you link more with.
Emotionally,
yeah, obviously,
Right,
because you can't
right.
see him.
You
and
haven't
then
seen him. Okay.
literally the only way you get to see someone in person is if the fucking guy makes a decision like, I want to marry you. Then they get engaged. And then they're like, okay, now you get to meet each other and we're going to put you in an apartment in Houston and you've got a month to live together and you have to get married after the month. Otherwise,
Figure it out.
Yeah. And so in that 4-week span, they're living together, doing their regular everyday day-to-day stuff as a regular couple. And then you meet the family and all that stuff. So it's just, to me, like,
That's a lot.
it's entertaining to watch. Okay. And they're getting money from me because I'm watching. I'm a watcher. But like, it's just like, to put it under a time constraint, it's like, this is the worst thing you could do for people. And through it, I think there are some people that are genuine about it. But I just think that when men and women get over a certain age, they just start lowering their standards, unfortunately. And by lowering their standards, it's like, yeah, it's just lowering their standards. Like they're willing to cut. I'm being dramatic, but it's like the older you get, when you're 45, your standards aren't going to be as high as when you are when you're 25, right?
Well,
And it's unfortunate, but I think what's great about you is that you take people that don't want to lower their standards,
yeah,
and aren't willing to waver, and they say, "No, listen, I'm 40.
I'll pay you for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll hire you and pay you
because I
for
don't have
it.
time to.
Yeah.
I don't have time to like fish, so like just fish for me and bring me the top prospects.
So, singles will say to me, I'm picky. And I always say, you're selective, first of all, right? Singles, let's just say you said 40 plus, over 40.
In the show?
Well, no, that are less selective, older.
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway.
let's just generalize.
Yeah. So, everyone is so selective right now. Like, and I think we were going to go into this earlier with, just the whole dynamic. Everyone is so selective.
Yeah. But that's
And-
good though, right?
Well,
Do you think they're
I show them a
unrealistically-
profile and no one's wanting to meet each other.
Well, then why are they on a...
Well, yeah. So, I do show pictures. I'm a matchmaker that shows pictures, right?
Wait, are there matchmakers that don't show pictures?
It's just lunch that
Because
they show
they
pictures.
do the Love Is Blind thing. Like, you want to just love them for who they are.
I created my business on singles that were upset because when they went on the date, they're like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I would not go with a service that doesn't show pictures.
No,
and that's
shady.
to your point, what you were just talking about. So the physical piece of a connection is huge, but it's a third of it in terms of how I see it.
I get that, but that's a big third.
It's a big third for men. You're visual and touch. Remember?
Okay. So you keep hitting it. You're right. Everything you're saying, you're right. You have the data. But do you find it concerning that women are open and willing to be with a man that they're not as attracted to?
So women that hire me are very selective and visual as well. I mean, most singles are selective, and it is on the looks. It is on the physical, right? Yeah. What I try to open singles' eyes to is values and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I have 3. I connect based on values, lifestyle, and the physical.
Yeah.
Right? The energy.
Yeah.
What I call energy. Energy can speak to you in many different ways. And this is why live is my focus now. I'm doing live events. I just did DateShape Live, which is the dating game.
Yeah.
where they couldn't see each other, but they were my clients and they trusted me. Right.
Cool. Yeah.
And that would be my question to you about, sorry, I'm going to say this because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Did they align values and dating goals with these singles, or did they just say, everybody wants to get married, here you go? You know what I mean?
Babe, what do you think? I don't know. I would think that I could tell you that they're all dating with intent. I could tell you that every one of them is on the show
shared the
because
dating goal of marriage.
yes, definitely.
But
Like
did
nobody's
they
on the show to say, but to your point,
Did they share lifestyle? Did they share hobbies, interests? Did
I think they just more so line.
Christian or
Yeah, it's
they
basically
picked each other.
It's a highly qualified speed dating. Yeah.
Okay. So my question would be if values were in line with those couples and, the lifestyle, right? Because so looks are important. The physical is important. The energy. I want to work with sapiosexuals. Like, bring me the intellect, right?
Yeah.
I just mean I'd love to work with them also. However, but if you don't have lifestyle, the common interests, if you don't have values, seeing the world in similar ways, 3 to 6 months with just looks.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So I really want to encourage the values, the lifestyle, having the things in common that are going to take you past that 3 to 6 months and get you to the long-term relationship, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I come in. Everyone's going to tell me they want the physical. Everyone's going to tell me they want to be attracted, but I'm aligning those nuances that will take them long-term.
That's cool. That's great. Well, I got to ask you a question.
Please.
You said you're divorced.
I am.
So do you have time to date yourself?
None.
Or are you just focused on finding
I'm
love people?
focused. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of getting a matchmaker to hook you up with that?
That's hilarious. It's interesting because I did have a relationship for a couple years during my business. And it was great. I mean, it was awesome. If someone's going to be with me, and I don't know if you guys have seen this video, I've seen it so many times, but they have to want to be a part of what I'm doing.
In what regard?
So the matchmaking, my business.
Would you want a guy to help you?
Not help me, but this is my focus.
Yeah.
This is my eat, sleep, breathe.
Yeah. So how could a man? I mean,
he's going to have to hear about it. He's going to have to deal with me working my ass off.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you need support from the perspective of
it's my focus. You're not going to be my focus. You know what I mean? I don't have it to give anyone right now,
Okay.
Because I have 2 small kids.
Yeah.
I have a 11-year-old as of Friday as of when was her birthday? Sorry, Thursday. And then I have a 13-year-old. And I want to give to them. So I did take away from them during my 2-year relationship.
You took away time
from
your children, and you didn't like that.
I don't want to do it again. Not right now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They need me. I want to be there.
Okay. I don't want to get too. Just tell me to time out. But
No, I don't.
When you say took away, do you mean your boyfriend at the time was I want to have dinner with just you, and you're like, well, I want to have dinner with the kids, and he's like,
he wasn't integrated into my kids.
He was not. So then how was he taking away if he wasn't integrated?
Because I'd go, I'd get a sitter, and I'd go and do stuff.
That's taking away. Okay, got it. And you just didn't like that feeling.
I just don't want to do it again.
Okay.
At the time, it was right, and I chose it. You know what I mean? And I was happy. I was enjoying the relationship. I'm so focused right now, and I have a lot of clients. I do. I started membership. So I've made matchmaking uber affordable. Uber affordable. So you asked me about my levels. Client is not uber affordable. Elite client is not uber affordable, but membership is, because I want to help. I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love it. And a single comes to me and wants matchmaking, but it's not in their budget, that hurts me. I want to help. You know what I mean? So I've made it affordable, and I've created events where singles can meet live.
Nice.
And here you go. Here's everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You guys go, right? And but then they'll come to me after the event and be like, oh my gosh, Julie, or oh my gosh, Paul. Okay, Paul does want to get married. You want to get married. Paul does want kids. You want kids. Julie does love working out and travel. Like, I'm going to align that stuff.
Yeah.
So that they do have a potential for a relationship, and it's not just looks.
How often do you have events?
Lately, a lot.
Like monthly?
So, yeah, monthly. Nice. So my new thing, which is fabulous, and we need to talk to, is it Rami or Rami? Rami. Okay. Private client events in singles' homes. So I have one coming up in Houston. It's in his home. He's got valet. He's got a bartender. He's got caterer. He's got...
Okay, he just wants everyone to know he's rich.
Well... But see his lifestyle.
Just so you guys know, the 20-bedroom mansion you're in, it's my house. All you single ladies, it's my house.
Well, he doesn't have 20 bedrooms, but I get your point. You know what? His lifestyle, how he lives, how he rolls, like that's so personal.
I know.
It's not even like it's a mansion. It's not like it's modest, but he's showing how he rolls. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. Listen.
You're like,
wait, so are you going to hold an event of just all women going for him?
No. It's a party. We're getting down. Yeah. Okay. Like everybody, we're going to have a blast. But
I think maybe you shouldn't tell the women whose house it is. And then...
I haven't. So the address gets disclosed the week of.
I just want to know. I think you should not tell anyone who owns the house. And I want to know if it comes out at the event whose house it is. Who's telling them?
Oh, you mean like, no, you go there and you don't even know that.
Well, it's like one show that I've never seen, but I saw the previews of years ago. It's like you're a millionaire, but you don't tell the girls. And the whole premise is like, no, I want, me. Yeah. And then you find out at the very, very end when they link up, it's like, oh, just so you know, Joe Millionaire, whatever.
Interesting.
And it's like they match, and at the very end, they find out who's a millionaire, who's not. And it's like, then the girls are like, well, actually, I did like him. It's like,
yeah.
You scally.
So this gentleman is over 50, and singles over 50 that, you know, are maybe never married, but most likely divorced.
Yeah.
Kids are older. Lifestyle is so important in those connections because you're not raising kids. You're not driving kids to, you know, practice.
Right.
You are together doing the stuff you like.
Right.
You're traveling. You're in your home together. You're cooking together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot less distractions, if you will, because, again, you're not
wanting to
taking your kids to practice.
Right. And you're not wanting to have babies, right? Like your focus is on each other and sharing the lifestyle. So my thought is this is how he rolls. Like this is how he lives. And it's not over the top, but he's throwing a pretty badass party if I do say so. And then I have meetups in Austin. I have a meetup in Austin November at a client's condo complex, right? Like not in his exact condo, but so singles can meet live.
Yeah.
Live is gone in dating. It's swipe mentality.
Yeah.
Look at a picture in a millisecond, make a decision.
Yeah.
Feel each other. You know?
Do you feel that social media has helped or hurt relationships in the modern day dating world?
I mean, from my perspective,
come on. How do you think it's helped?
Exactly. Thank you.
Give me 10 fucking reasons. Tell me one that it's helped.
Men are visual creatures. So they see these hot chicks, and chicks on social are showing what they got, which I'm all, you know, you work hard, you look good. Yeah. I feel you. Show it, girl, you know. But a man's going to look at that and be like, I want that. Yeah. I want her, right? And it's like,
well, everything's at your disposal. And again, it's like, let's go back to like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years. It's like most people that were married in the 50s married someone that lived a quarter, like within walking distance from them. Okay. And then like most people, like we have to look at trends. And I mean, you would know this, but like look at the trends and like, when did divorce rates start skyrocketing? What time period? Well, what happened in history that we feel contributed to that? Also, I'm asking a question I don't know the answer to. I'm just saying, like, let's look at the trends of marriage, right? Also, is divorce really that much of a failure rate in the world, or is it just a us thing, right? Is it all around the world, or is it just the United States? Because from what I've heard, it's just a United States thing. Well, what are the United States doing so much worse than other countries, right? Well, what's the impact of social media? My whole thing with social media is like, you're right. A girl could post, provocative picture or whatever that entices a guy, and now that girl has, theoretically, if her account's public, she could have tens of millions of men messaging her.
Oh, I'm sure she does.
Now, on top of that, a girl that breaks up with her boyfriend, well, yeah, you broke up with him, but like, you still see his stories. You still see his posts. So like, you guys might not be together, sleeping together, but like, you still watch his every move. Like, are you really broken up because you still see him every day? Are you really over him? And it goes with guys and girls, but it's like breakups now. It's like, it's not a true breakup anymore. And also like everyone is at each other's disposal. And all it takes is one slip up with a girl and they go on a break and she's just going to scroll through the DMs and find the guys that whatever.
I know.
So it's just like,
yeah.
In my opinion, I mean, I don't think social media.
I don't either.
I think it hurts more than it helps. And also, I would definitely like to get to a point in my life where I'm completely off social media. I legitimately generate revenue for my business on social media, but I'm gearing towards the direction of like when marriage starts to possibly come in the picture, like I would love for my partner and I to get off social media. I don't think it contributes at all. And I want to go back to the way it was 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
In relationships.
Yeah.
I want to go like old school.
Focus. Right.
No, I'm talking like landline phones.
Oh, wow. Nice. I like it.
But
yeah.
Yeah,
How
the
sweet.
pictures will send it. But anyways, I wanted to
I recruit on social media.
Yeah.
And I have I recruited Rami on social media.
Yeah.
Rami, sorry. I recruited. I mean, I recruited on dating apps for It's Just Lunch. 15 years ago, Coffee Meets Bagel. I'm not, it's
there's
touchy.
good and bad to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there's good and bad to everything. It's just, it goes with your values.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
So
it's a tough
visual, men are visual, right?
Yeah.
So they see all that and they want that. And
but women also see it too on the lifestyle.
Yeah, but men aren't. Men, I guess, but not to the degree of women showing themselves on social media. No,
but women can see a lifestyle a guy has
true
on social media and go, shit, I want the trip.
Right.
I want the lifestyle.
And to your point about, if there's a breakup, right?
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion, my advice would be to block them because for your well-being, your well-being, you don't need to see this person anymore. You don't need to know what they're doing. It's only going to make you upset, most likely, maybe not, but I say block it. You don't need to see it. Protect yourself, right? Anyway, and so that brings up the coach in my business. I'm a big time coach for my clients, and I get very personal with my clients. On the way up, today driving up, I was on the phone the whole time with clients, coaching them, talking to them. It's emotional.
Yeah, you're like a therapist.
There's a lot of psychology in what I do.
Absolutely.
And I need to go back to school for my license, You
probably know more than most psychologists now because you work on such a personal level on such a daily basis.
When I launched DateShape, a lot of therapists and psychologists reached out to me, psychiatrists even, and they were like, this is cool. Yeah. Like, this is good because there is that need for that piece to be involved in dating and matchmaking, right? And I teach mindfulness. I meditate every day. Do you meditate?
I do morning affirmations.
Okay.
And I don't formally meditate, but my version of it is like morning affirmations and stuff. But I want to get into it.
Do you work out? Mm-hmm. Do you do cardio?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's active meditation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I used to be a runner, and that running is meditation.
Yeah.
When you're in your head, right?
Yeah, but I heard running affects your Botox results, so I'm not going to run anymore.
It totally does. Trust me.
Yeah,
Yeah. It does. And it's not good on the joints.
And
But
technically speaking, I don't do Botox. I do what's it called
Botox?
No, because I do Dysport.
Okay.
So
Yeah, no, the
technical.
cardio eats your Botox.
that's what I heard.
Yes, I know. Trust me. I've had my share. But yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. Well, this was great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you coming on. I think you definitely helped a lot of people. I think you opened up a lot of minds, different perspective on dating, and I really appreciate what you do.
Thank you. Can
Finding
I leave
love is a beautiful thing.
Love is beautiful. If I
Yeah.
can just say that I do have clients in Houston that are willing to date in Dallas and Austin. I mean, Texas,
Everyone
right?
looking for love in the state of Texas.
Yes, state of Texas. I'm Texas matchmaker.
Well, let us know how people can find you.
DateShape.com, at DateShape. What else? I mean, that's really it, right? The two.
I mean, listen, this is probably going to go viral. You
Yay.
might have a lot of clients.
I would love it. I love what I do. I want to help. And, you know, I care about my singles very much. I want to find them their person.
I definitely can see your level of love and passion for helping people. And I think it definitely, you know, is testament to you and the advice your dad gave you. I could definitely see that. I could genuinely feel that you care about helping people.
I do.
Yeah,
I love it.
And that's really cool.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate
you.
you saying that and
Yeah.
seeing that. It means a lot to me.
Absolutely. Well, everyone looking for love, you know where to find the champion.
DateShape, baby.
There you go. All right, guys. All you rumblers. See you next time.
All right.
If you vibe, gon' hit ya. People who ride with ya, get it live.